What's up, ACPS? As we approach the new year, we are a step closer to breaking the stigma of mental health. In the new episode of Teen Talk, we will discuss how to break mental health stigmas starting at your community level through various organizations that you can be involved in. What's up, ACPS? It's your host, Sua Kim, and welcome to Teen Talk. As we approach the new year, we are a step closer to breaking the stigma of mental health. Today, we will discuss how to break mental health stigmas starting at your community level through various organizations that you can be involved in. Building the right awareness in mental health can be difficult due to stigmas around the world. The word stigma means a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance or quality. This negative conception to mental health prevents one from seeking the help they need and results self-discrimination. Nowadays, there are various organizations in our community that works on breaking these stigmas and creating a safe environment to spread suicide prevention awareness. Not only stopping there, they connect creative fields including art and music to create a bonding community beyond its purpose. Burgers and Bands, an organization located in Severna Park, spreads awareness in suicide prevention through hosting fundraiser events with music and food. I'm happy to be here with Anastasia from Burgers and Bands to learn more about what works to break existing stereotypes of mental health. So, can you give us a little introduction of what Burgers and Bands is, what goal do they have, and what steps are you guys taking to achieve that goal?
Sure. So Burgers and Bands for Suicide Prevention started off as just a fundraiser for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention back in 2017. And then when we had our event in 2018, we decided to expand it and uh, try and figure out how we could get sponsorships and then with that sponsorship money, give grants to local schools for mental health programs.
Can you give us some names of schools that you've worked until now?
Sure, yeah. So just this month, we've given grants to Jones Elementary, North County High School, Marley Elementary, and Severna Park High School, Middle School, and oh, there's a lot on the list. I can't remember all of them.
What are some events Burgers and Bands host independently apart from giving out grants to other organizations?
Yeah, so we raise our money through the events. So our main event is always the third Sunday of May in Severna Park at the Severna Park Tap House. And we've been doing it there since 2017. We even had one during COVID that we live streamed, but we had still had the event there. And that event is usually the last 2 years we've had about 1,000 people come throughout the day. It's usually from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Last year was from 11 a.m. I think to like 10 p.m. So the event is really to spread the word that you are not alone. Everybody, when people are depressed, they feel like they're alone and that nobody understands where they're coming from. But we're not. There are people that care about us. There are resources out there, and the goal of Burgers and Bands is to raise that awareness for suicide prevention, letting people know that there are resources, that there are people that care about them, and we do that through a fun way of having these bands and great food, of course. So
I actually didn't connect these two yet, but now thinking about it, the phrase "you're not alone" fits so well with having music and food because I feel like when I think of music and food, all I think about is connection,
mm-hmm.
having interactions, small talks, meeting people, and I think it's the perfect field to
Oh,
connect
definitely.
this.
The event is it's incredible. Anybody that's come to the event, you just feel this sense of connection with the people that are around you. And we've had a lot of volunteers that have come over the years that have kept coming, and we know of multiple people that have reached out, specifically teenagers that have reached out to their parents as a result of coming to our event and realizing, oh, I need help. And then they have asked their parents for help. And it's incredible story. We have this one young man who came to the first event in 2017, realized he needed help, told his parents because of Ann Brennan, the one that started this foundation, she had said, you're not alone. Ask for help. He asked for help, and he volunteered every year until last year, and his parents have always come. And Anne asked the parents where he was, and she was like, he's not thinking about his mental health anymore. He's just happy. So it's something that really, the event itself just raises that awareness and brings people together.
Talking about volunteer, is there any way that students can also volunteer and be involved in it?
Yes, our foundation is really completely volunteer run. I'm volunteering, Anne, who runs it, volunteers, and everybody that works with us is a volunteer. Our primary event, like I said, is in May, and we do, because it's from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., we need a lot of volunteers throughout the day because people don't want to volunteer for the whole day. So they can volunteer for an hour or two, and we put them in different locations. And then sometimes we'll have events where we'll table at different venues that have either a kind of an expo or something like that. And sometimes we'll need people to help us with that, or the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention has a walk in September, and we always table at that, and we need volunteers for things like that, just to help spread awareness of our organization, what we're doing, and the resources that we can give.
So for the potential volunteers out there who wants to volunteer, can you give us like a sneak peek of the next event that's happening?
Sure. So the next event will be, well, we actually have one coming up in March in North Carolina, but that's not very applicable to your students. So our next event here will be in May 18th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Severna Park Tap House.
Okay, that's amazing. So everyone who wants to volunteer, note that down. So if Burgers and Bands have a message that they want to give to the students of Anne Arundel County, along with You're Not Alone, what is the message that you want to give them to?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, everybody thinks that they're the only ones that are going through something, and that's just natural. And especially with teenagers, so many things are changing, and there's so much stress on you guys, and it's a different world than it was when I was young. And I think that is showing in the number of kids that are struggling right now. And don't isolate yourself, but see if you can ask a friend to chat, or there's resources at all of the schools, and there's a text line, a talk on text line 988, that is something that you can utilize. Anne Arundel County has a warm line where you can talk and call them and discuss your day if you're struggling. It's not necessarily, it's called crisis response, but they're there to help anybody, and it's on the back of every student ID card. The numbers are on the back of your student ID card, so utilize those resources.
Wow, I actually did not know that until now. Switching up the vibe a little bit, I do have to ask you, what is your favorite band?
Oh, there's so many. We have so many. I really like, on the inside, we have an acoustic stage where it's usually just a couple of instruments, mainly the guitar. I really like those ones. But outside, I love Kelly Bell Band. They come every year. They're a big band in this area, and they have not missed. They don't miss it. Our event usually goes till 7, but they couldn't play until 9 last year, and so we were like, okay, we're staying open till later. So I love Kelly Bell.
Is there any particular reason why why Burgers and Bands chose music and food?
So Anne Brennan was trying to come up with a fundraiser for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and it just popped in her head, Burgers and Bands. So she called Lee Pretty from Pretty Music Academy, and was like, hey, can you get me 10 bands in 3 weeks?
Wow.
And he was like, sure. And then she called Severna Park Tap House and said, can we do a fundraiser at your location in 3 weeks? And, yep. And so that's kind of how Burgers and Bands was born. It fell into her lap.
Well, I can hear that there's a lot of collaboration in between, and I love that the collaboration, the community is building a bigger collaboration with all the different organizations out there in Anne Arundel County. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you again for joining us today and sharing the story of Burgers and Bands. If you want to support the upcoming journey of Burgers and Bands, follow @Burgers and Bands on Instagram, or look up www.burgersandbands.org to learn more. Now, let's head to North County High School for the VDM Convention funded by Burgers and Bands. Okay, so who am I here with today?
You are here with Sanaya Simmons. I'm the current running president of Avita. I'm in the 12th grade and I go to North County High School. And I'm also in the STEM program and Avid and all that other stuff. So
Okay, perfect.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
tell me about Avidum. What is it? Like, what's the motive of it? What do you guys run for?
So Avita is pretty much a mental health club started by students in Pennsylvania because one of their students committed suicide and they felt like they needed to spread the message about it. Originally, it came to here because this is actually a funny story. I was doing it for a grade and we needed to create a club freshman year, and somehow I was like, mental health is something that nobody talks about here for some reason, and I just felt like we weren't doing enough to help our community. So I was like, let's get our foot in the door. And our advisor at the time, Ms. Funkaiser, was like, yeah, that sounds sick. And I don't know, I couldn't get away from it. So it was a fun experience, kind of stressful, but I enjoy it.
What do you guys do on a weekly or a monthly basis to spread the awareness of suicide prevention here?
So pretty much we meet every 2 weeks, every other Thursday. And during at least one of those meetings, we kind of just talk about what we want to do during the next meeting and kind of plan mental health events according to like next month and the coming months. I believe in January, we're going to have like a sip and paint event with National Art Honor Society to kind of like help de-stress with students, stuff like that, because not enough student-led activities are done here to help with
Right.
mental health activities. I know in the past we did a ribbon fundraiser, which kind of raises awareness for, mental illnesses like PTSD, anxiety, depression,
Right.
bipolar disorder, and people, put them on their backs to show their support for it. And yeah, it's pretty cool. We donate most of our funds to mental health organizations, and
That's amazing.
yeah, we try to like find different ways for students to kind of get up, get out, and talk about it, because just kind of sitting there in silence talking about suicide is really sad, and people are
Right.
less inclined to do it than actually doing something that they don't know may actually enhance their mental health. Like our fun run last year, I know exercising helps with depression and stuff like that. So yeah, that was a big hit, and we've been doing it ever since.
That's
but
amazing.
yeah.
Okay, so if there are other schools in Anne Arundel County who want to make the same amazing achievements as you guys, what are some advice that you guys can give to them?
I think some advice that I would give is definitely you have to communicate with your student body, because you may
Right.
not know what they want to do. And for us at North County, we realized that the students don't like sitting and being lectured at. We realized that they like being active. They like
Right.
trying to at least find a distraction from something, or at least something in school that can help them. So sometimes we do posters, other
Okay.
times we do fun events. But yeah, I would say just talk to your advisor about it so they can get it rolling.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for Sanai for giving us time to interview and learn more about Avidum. Now we're going to talk to another student leader here at Anne Arundel County. Now, the effort to spreading mental health awareness does not limit in age or money. In AACPS, there are various opportunities for students to raise awareness in suicide prevention and break stigmas within mental health. Today, we will have one of our student leaders in the studio to tell us what you can do to spread awareness in your community. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you give us a little introduction of yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Hayden Griffith. I go to Severna Park High School, and I'm a ninth grader there, and I'm Krask's mental health liaison.
Okay, so can you tell me more about Krask Mental Health Liaison a little bit?
So it's a new position this year, and basically I'm trying to figure out myself what we're really doing, but it's basically we're trying to spread more awareness about mental health, since after COVID we kind of like had a downfall of how many people were talking about mental health and issues like this that are important.
Give us a little background information of how did you become the Krask Mental Health Liaison?
So I started really talking about mental health issues like this after my dad passed away in 2019 due to suicide, and that really affected me and my family, and especially my younger siblings. So I really started fighting for more like people to talk about it, because I realized after that there were a lot more like deaths happening because of it.
What are some goals that you have within the position?
Well, I really want mental health to be talked about more, since it's kind of like a stigma still here, and like it's hard to talk about it, and I want people to kind of reach out for help and like take that help they need.
That's amazing. Okay, as a student leader, is there any other organizations or other events or anything that you've been involved in order to spread mental health awareness?
So basically we're going to be I'm today going to go to the wellness council. Um, it they like just started up having them in person, so it's a I guess a yeah thing. And Miss Mary Gay, yeah, she's gonna teach us yoga, so I'm excited about that.
That's
And it's my first time being on this council, so I don't really know like what we talk about and stuff, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I know we talked about this at our previous episode of, meeting all these representative in each school, and I'm happy that it kind of worked out, and now one of the student representative of South Savanna Park is gonna be here,
Yeah.
and
I feel like it's a great like way to meet people that are also think
Mhm.
that like stuff like this is important too.
Oh, regarding meeting people, you were also at the Avidum.
Yeah, I was. I
Yeah.
loved Avidum. I thought it was a great idea. Like me and my friends were gonna try to make an Avidum club.
We actually just came back from the Avidum workshop, so
Really?
yeah, right now in the video for the viewers. But can you give us your insight of how did you like that? Well, what were some insights that you have?
Okay, I loved the banana. That was like it. She made everything so energetic and like
Mhm.
informative, and it made me happy.
Yeah. I think definitely they did such a great job in introducing a heavy topic in not a heavy way necessarily, and just giving great energy vibe, having up tension, workshops, and
Yeah.
just place to talk about. So
And I feel like I met people that have also been
yes.
through the same thing as me, losing a parent, and um like that made me feel more connected with this program too.
As a student leader who's, also one of the people who will be soon opening workshops and opening meetings to talk about mental health awareness, what do you want? What's like a message that you want to send out to the students out there, to your friends, fellow teachers? I mean, also anyone out there.
Just that you should reach out for the help you need. Don't wait last minute. Don't think that no one's gonna listen, even if it's just a friend that you think is not like. Look for friends that will listen to what you want to say and what you need, and like talk to people. If you don't talk about it, it's not gonna get better.
Right, I definitely agree. I remember one analogy that was introduced at the VDM.
Hmm.
They were talking about you're not gonna tell a cancer patient to wait until stage 4 to get treated. And they were comparing that to mental illness, and that gave me like a really good comparison of like, wow, yeah, maybe we are holding back and we should reach out for help soon.
I feel
So,
like that's an amazing analogy and explains just how like people feel because even though it's not a cancer, I feel like mental health is kind of is a cancer just eating your brain away.
I like that analogy too. Well, what do you think helped you cope with your experience?
Um so definitely just my therapist. I think everyone should have a therapist. Even if you say you have no life problems, you need a therapist. But I also go to this camp called Circle Camp, and it's for girls who have lost a parent or grieving a parent. And I've met my best friends there. And even though we live kind of far away, we still have that connection. And I'm always so excited to see them. My sister goes there too. She loves it. And there's another camp called Experience Camp. It's for people who have lost someone important in their lives, and it's also a great experience and camp for people to go to.
Give me some like insights of like what happens in the camp. What do you guys do? Because I remember you showed me a little bracelet that you guys made.
I don't have it here today, but basically every year you get necklaces and it has your name beads on it. It says your name, and you get a bead for every year you go. And then we also made bracelets with the camp like organizer, the person who organized the camp. Her name is Sarah. She gives you like little nicknames. So mine is
Aw.
Denny. Denny with an I. It's not Denny's like the
Oh.
restaurant. It's Denny with an I.
Oh, how did you get that nickname?
She said I looked like a Denny. she
I
was
mean-
like, you look like a Denny.
Denny it is.
And I feel like people when they think of this camp, it's like a really sad camp, and that's why they don't want to go because they think that's all we talk about, but really in the time we're there, we don't really talk about it that much. I mean, we make little jokes here and there, and we also do like circle time, which is like the time you can talk about your parent, and like we also do like art activities, but really it's just I feel like the experience is more about knowing that the people around you have also experienced somewhat the same thing you have, and you shouldn't like you don't feel left out kind of thing.
Yeah, I think just having the connection, or not even to connection, just but seeing someone in the same situation helps a lot. And well, is there any other things that you want to talk about regarding mental health issues, awareness, anything?
Just that like there are opportunities out here and that you shouldn't feel by yourself, and if you do feel by yourself, you should reach out for help.
What are some resources that students out there who want to be involved in mental health awareness can use to reach out to you or Crask Wellness Councils?
Well, our Instagrams are below so you can scan those.
Thank you so much for joining us today at the studio.
I had so much fun here.
Thank you, Hayden, for joining us today. If you have any questions, be sure to check out at crask.wellness on Instagram for updates of upcoming opportunities to get involved. To connect with Burgers and Bands, Avidum, or Crask Wellness Council, visit at AACPS Teen Talk. Together, we can take a step closer to building a supportive community, a safe space where both youths and adults feel empowered to seek help and truly be themselves.